Hey, welcome to From Scratch Ranch. Jason here, and it's that time of year. It's that time to tap all of those black walnut trees to make some really, really good black walnut syrup. So stay tuned. So if you've been following us for a while, you may have seen last year how disappointed I was that I could not find one maple tree on our property. And we've got 47 acres. I thought for sure we'd have some maple trees, but they're not as prominent down here in the south as they are up in the north and northeast. So I was pretty disappointed until I found out that you can tap other types of trees, especially black walnut trees, and it's really, really good. And I knew we had quite a few black walnut trees, especially just right along our tree line here in the edge of the woods. So I invested in a little bit of equipment to tap. I think I tapped about 8 trees last year just to test it out to see if it was any good. And sure enough, it was good. Check out those videos if you haven't seen them yet. There's a link above here. So this year, I wanted to invest just a little bit more in our black walnut syrup making operation. And that started with just identifying the black walnut trees and how many we had. Last winter, I had a very difficult time trying to figure out, which trees were actually black walnuts using the picture of this app because they didn't have any leaves on them, right, in the winter. So I had to take a picture of the bark and using that app. And I think I was getting a lot of false positives, but I wasn't sure. I just wasn't trusting it. So this year I wanted to make sure that I hiked around in the fall before all the leaves fell off and identified all of the trees I could. And that resulted in some pretty positive results. Black walnut has a very, very distinct leaf pattern that once you know what it is, super easy to identify. That one right there, I can easily tell by those leaves. So we're just gonna step in there and mark it. And that's it right there. I mean, the bark I'm starting to get better at this, identifying the bark pattern. It's got that elongated ridge, kind of a diamond pattern to it. And I'm just gonna mark these with spray paint. I found about 43 trees that I was able to mark with some orange fluorescent spray paint, just a spot towards the bottom. And then I also logged it in the Gaia GPS app. So I have that as reference also to go back and find them all. And that's worked out great. I mean, looking through the woods now, I can look back down these woods here and I can see orange spots all over the place. It's not too obnoxious. It's just enough so I can actually see them in the winter here. So with 43 trees identified, I went ahead and bought 50 spiles to tap all of those trees because some of them are big enough to double and even triple tap. So I got enough to do that. I also got enough buckets. I bought these at Tractor Supply. That was the cheapest for the food grade buckets. They were $3.99 a piece. And then enough lids. The lids about $1.99 a piece. So that's a total investment of $6 for that. And then I bought enough tubing for all of those different buckets. And what else? I guess a new drill bit that's specific for tapping trees. And I think that's it. With that, let's go head into the woods. So this is really like right near our house. Our house is getting built right there. So right here near the house, I just was walking right here and I just see one right here. There's right there, there's that orange spot right on that one. And if I look down the woods, I can see them. Let me reverse the camera around and I'll show you. So right down in there, I don't know if I can zoom in. There we go. Right over there. There's one. And let's see. Yep, there we go. There's one right there. There's one right there. Yeah, they're just kind of all over the place. So there's one. I know it's a lot harder to see on the camera, but in real life here, I can see these orange spots from pretty far away. There's one down there, even way down there. There it is. See that? Yep. So we're just gonna get out here and get all of these trees tapped. All right, so I know for sure I got 5 right there, so I'm gonna grab 5 buckets. All right, got my lids. And here's all my spiles. I boiled them, and strained them just to kind of clean them out. There was some from last year also in here. So I'll bring that with me. And then my drill, and the hammer, I'll come back for that. This is one last year that I thought was a black walnut, but second guessed it and I never tapped it, even though it was like right here by the house. This one's gonna be a little difficult getting at. I might have to get my chainsaw out here and clean this up a bit. This, by the way, yeah, this is the tree right here that came down when we first moved here that I cut for our cedar mantle behind the wood stove in the Barndominium. Yep, that's it. Hey, Toothless. How's it going? So I like to do it into the lid here. I know a lot of people have said that it's better to do it in the side here so that way rain doesn't fall through the hole or whatever, but that tubing in this hole is going to be tight enough to where there's not going to be much water that's going to seep through there. And if it is, it's just water. Sap is mostly water, so it's not that big of a deal. And the reason I like to do that is because when the tube is through the lid here, I can pop this lid off, leave it behind, take my bucket up to the side-by-side and dump it into another big container. It's just easier to pour this bucket out if, you know, without the tube going through the side of it. So that's just my reasoning, but you can do it whichever way. I'm going to drill the hole in the tree here, but I need to change my bit out. I got to use a special sap bit. 5/16 size is a little bit bigger because the tubing's bigger, but it's 5/16 and it's a special bit that's a little bit sharper. It's got a different angle on it. It's going to have deeper fluting so that it will pull the sawdust out of the hole and just a cleaner cut in that hole. And I've actually cleaned this, sterilized it, because I didn't want any bacteria on the bit to get into the hole there. So that's why you don't want to blow in the hole or put anything in there that's going to bring bacteria into that hole once you cut it, because then it's going to start to heal a little bit faster than you want and start closing it up, and your sap will stop flowing as much as it could. Okay, I think right there. And it's already dripping. I don't know if you can see it, but it's already dripping. So get that spile in there. Okay, now we should start seeing it drip real soon here. There it comes, first drip. Oh, and I think it just fell on the cat. Yeah, that sap is flowing. Nice. See how tight that is in there? I don't think much water is gonna get in there, especially if I keep the bucket at an angle. Okay, that should do it. All right, I think what I'm gonna do is keep the buckets around the back side here on the north side of the tree in the shade, just because we are going to have some warm days, and just in case, I don't want the bucket to warm up and spoil the sap too soon. Okay, this is using that Gaia GPS app where I've marked my trees, just one little area. This right here is where our house is going, and that's where it's being built in that little open area there. And it's these right here that I've already just tapped. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gotta go back and get all those, but those are deeper into the woods. I'm gonna try to keep to the trail. The trail kind of cuts this way. And get all those first, and then I'll go deeper in the woods later. But this is what I'm standing by right now, which is right there, that orange mark there. So I've got 3 more down there. I can go get those, and these, you can see there's clusters of them. So I will get 4 buckets. We'll do those 4, and then I'll hit this group and keep moving on. So just to kind of show you how many I've marked so far. There's 43 right there. That's 43 trees. And this red line is the kind of perimeter of the property that I've mapped. So it's just in this corner of the property. If you look, I've got all this over here to go explore. So this is That's quite a bit for just one little part. And that blue line there is our trail to the shooting range down in that area down there, down the mountain. So pretty cool. So I'm just gonna get 4 of these done and take it down with me and then change out my bit. Next year I won't have to do that. I'll have them already all drilled. All right, 4 lids. I don't think any of these are big enough for double tap, so I'll just take 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 buckets. You'll see how nice this goes in. Nice clean hole. Yep. And that should start flowing pretty quickly. Yeah, it's already flowing, which is good. Oh yeah, look at that. Yep. Nice. Okay, so according to my map here, this is this one right here where it's pointing at. And I need to go, see the tree lines behind me. So the next one should be over here somewhere. And there it is, oh, I see it. Okay, so it's right there to the left, just like it shows on the map here. Right down there, right there. Oh, and I see another one way down there. That's gonna be that one. And there's one right next to it. So there's 2 clumped down there, and then there's this one. So, all right, here we go. Oh yeah, that one's flowing fast. It'll be interesting to see how many gallons of black walnut sap I'm going to get this year out of these 40 trees, because it takes 50 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of black walnut syrup, and that's very different than maple. Maple is 40 to 1, so it takes a lot more of this black walnut sap to make the syrup. So it's a little bit pricier to make, or it costs a little bit more to make. It's a lot more work because you gotta evaporate off 50 gallons just to get that 1 gallon of syrup. All right, I'm also kind of drawing this on a map here, just rough, so I can keep track of what I've actually done. So this area is back there, so I need to mark these here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So those are done. So far I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 done. So now I'm gonna move over to these 4 right here. Oh. Am I in your way? Yeah. You can't go around me?
It's not that skinny.
I can back up maybe over to right there in front of you on the right hand side. There's a little area. I'll back up and let you by. Is that good? All right. All right, I see my next batch right down in there. Okay, I've got one cut. I've cut some of it already in advance, but I bought it in this, I think 100 foot. I already had a 50 foot and I bought 100 feet more. And so I'm just cutting off, you know, a couple 3 feet or so off of this. It's just cheaper to buy it in the longer run and cut it to the lengths you need. All right, lids. All right, these spiles here that I'm using are the stainless steel ones, just from Amazon. They're a little pricey, but I like them. Versus the plastic ones. I tried those first last year, and I just didn't like them. I don't know why. These feel more solid, but they are pricey. And the plastic ones, you know, could break when you're tapping them in if you tap a little bit too hard. But that's, yeah, look at that drip, nice. But these just seem so much better. I don't know why. I was having problems with the other ones leaking. I don't know if it's because I didn't have the right drill bit or what. Maybe it's just because I didn't know what I was doing. But I switched over halfway through, or, you know, I bought a couple last year to test out the stainless steel spiles versus the plastic, and I just prefer them. So, but they are pricey when you have to buy 50 of them. Running. It's like, holy cow, look at that. I hope you guys can see that. There's a lot coming out of that. Let's not waste that. Oh yeah. Yep, that one is producing a lot. Okay. I can hear it dripping in the bucket. Can you, Toothless? Can you hear that dripping in the bucket? That's like a steady stream. This is one of my best trees, I think, as far as production. Let's check this out. Oh, yep. I think that's almost full. Oh yeah, look at that. That's a good 3 gallons in there. All right, and that's just one day.